Okay, so Jack Lynch in Northern Ireland. So following the development of violence in Northern Ireland, Lynch and the government of the Republic advised the Prime Minister Harold Wilson to get the situation under control. Now, the British government do not like being told what to do, especially by the little government in the Republic of Ireland. So Wilson does not respond well to that. When the British Army arrived, the government came under pressure from the people who were witnessing the scenes of violence on TV and the arrival of refugee families. So, the government I'm talking about here is the Irish government. So, Lynch's government comes under pressure from the people in the Republic of Ireland who were seeing scenes of violence, army brutality, police brutality, being broadcast on RTE, and they were seeing the arrival of refugees families coming across the border. So what Lynch does, he addresses the nation, and the video link is there, you can watch that later. Lynch addresses the nation. He criticised the unionist government, he criticised the role of the army, and he tells Wilson that things need to change. He also sends troops to the border. Irish troops to the border. They do not cross the border, but they are stationed there. He sets up field hospitals to help people coming across the border that have been victims of violence. So he strongly supported, which will be a very strong Fianna Fáil mandate. He strongly supported the peaceful unification of Ireland. He continued to advise the British government to introduce reforms, and he worked extremely hard to prevent violence spilling over the border. It's only nothing short of a miracle that violence does not come across the border and that civil war does not erupt during the time of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. And it's a real testament to how strong Lynch was. And I'm just going to jump down to that third point there, where the British ambassador, Sir John Peck, praised Lynch and says, all those concerned with and committed to peace with justice in the North owe a great deal to his courage and tenacity. I do not think that I ever succeeded in convincing British politicians of how much we owed him at that stage, or what the consequences would have been if he had lost his head. So he's very calm, very respectful Taoiseach who took the time to reflect on actions and didn't act rashly, which was extremely important. So not only does the British government owe him a lot for preventing civil war, obviously the state does as well. The eruption of violence on Bloody Sunday, Lynch came out strongly against that and wanted the British government to do something about it. As the violence continued, Patrick Hillary met the British Foreign Secretary to discuss any sort of options to solve the crisis. It does push the violence that occurs in Northern Ireland, does push leaders to start to look at ways to attempt to solve the Troubles, in attempts to solve peace. Patrick Hillary does try to go to the UN to plead the Irish government's case and persuade them to send a peacekeeping force. He does believe that it's a humanitarian crisis, but although there is enhanced media coverage of the Northern Ireland Troubles, Hillary is unsuccessful in getting a peacekeeping force from the UN. So the Irish government's response to the Troubles in Northern Ireland stem from Lynch's courage and tenacity, to quote Sir John Peck. The way he deals with the British government, the Prime Minister, sending troops as far as the border, setting up field hospitals, managing refugees coming over the border, setting up facilities for families coming across the border escaping violence, responding with great articulation to the violence, and of course looking to the UN as well, even though that was unsuccessful in the end.